Hello my friends and welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel SP Deck Challenge Deck Overview Series Part 7. So, in today's video I'll be going over the next loner deck for the opponent this time, which I believe should be Toon's. But before I do, I'm going to say on my spiel, please like, share, and subscribe. And consider ringing that notification bell for either regular content or all my content if you really want to help me out. The former is by selecting the notification bell and selecting personalized, which will get you the videos you watch the most. And the latter is just by selecting the bell and selecting all. Yeah, and then I'll go to solo mode now. Oh yeah, there's a new season. I mean, I could bring up the news, but it's really just new season. I guess an additional mission if you want to check that out for the attribute 4. And then, I forget. What was the last thing, actually? Oh yeah, and then the ranked mode. Did I say the ranked mode update? Oh yeah, the survey. That's right. But the survey doesn't get you anything, so it's only there if you want, if you really want to let Konami know your thoughts. But I don't care enough. Only reason I do surveys is to get rewarded. At this point, like. Because there's so many people doing the surveys anyway, I don't think one person is going to change their mind on anything. Then again, I kind of feel the same way about, like, voting with other stuff, too. And I know not everyone feels that way, but I'm cool with how you want to feel. Is this the one with the Toon? No, this is the one with the Hoppies. This is the one with Toon. Okay, so my opponent's playing Toon Kingdom, but luckily we have a card, that Gaia Dragon, that can destroy it. So it might be a good idea to hang on to it until your opponent puts down Toon Kingdom, because this card is somewhat annoying. It basically protects all the tunes in two of the best ways, and if even and it also keeps you from being able to target them, which is also pretty annoying. There are ways they can protect their Toon Kingdom as well, but I mean, if they do, then that's one less option. I'm not sure how many ways we have of being able to destroy it, so that might actually really suck for us, but I mean, I think we can still win even if we can't get rid of the Toon Kingdom. It's probably still possible. Anyway, this is used so they can go into their fusions without necessarily needing the proper materials. Yeah. And do they also have other ways of cheating it out? I don't know. I don't know how they're going into fusions. Anyway. Do they even have a way? Oh yeah, this one allows you to fusion summon. Or at least special summon one from the exec. By tributing it. So really they're gonna have to get this on the field if they want to go into any of the fusions. Some of the fusions they may or may not be able to go into, but that's not really the whole point of the deck anyway. I'm not sure if they can go into this, since I don't know if the oh wait, they are playing, is this Relinquished? Yeah, so they can go into that with since they're playing the ritual. And I believe they're playing something? Do they have anything? Oh, Relinquished Fusion. I didn't even notice that. So they do have a fusion spell. Okay. And they also have this for the Relinquished. So yeah, they can go into their fusions. They don't necessarily just need to bring this out on the field, although that is another way they can do it. So yeah, I think they can go into most of their fusions. I'm not sure if they can go into all of them. I think these don't really have that relevant of effects anyway. So the important ones, at least they can go into, and then the others are just fodder for Pop Extravagance. You heard my thoughts on like how I feel about like this in last video, but I just feel like if you can play relevant monsters, play relevant extra deck monsters. Like no matter if like you care about actually going into them or not, because like what if the time comes up when you need to, and then you'll be glad you did that. But yeah. And then of course the Toons, which starting with Toon Mermaid. A lot of these have can attack on the first turn, on the turn the special summon, because they're the older ones. But some of these can attack the turn they summon. I think it's mostly the newer ones that have that effect. See, and then like a lot of the older higher level ones, and maybe even a few of the lower level ones, have like a life point payment effect where you have to pay life points in order to declare attacks with them. Which does kind of suck if you have really low life points, or if you have multiples of the ones you have to pay life points for. But I mean, like those, like you don't necessarily have to attack anyway. You can always use them as fodder for other things. But I don't think it's gonna really like very often get into a position where it does suck. If you do have a lot of those kinds of monsters, though, it does kind of stink having to pay like a bunch of life points just to attack. But yeah, it's a good thing that like the new ones no longer really have that. This one, I believe, can attack on the turn it summons. So yeah, a lot of the new ones. And also it's pretty cool that the Toons have the ability to be able to attack directly most of the time, unless you're in a mirror match, which doesn't really happen a lot with this deck. And then Mimicat is pretty cool, I guess. This only special summons Monster Reborns. This only special summons monsters from the opponent's graveyard, but with the upside of also being able to set a spell or trap if you'd rather do that. But it is unsearchable because it's not treated as a Toon card. Toon table of contents is pretty nice. You could either just do a cycle of all three, or just search for a relevant Toon card. Toon Bookmark is kind of the same way, except it doesn't search for itself. And it has the upside of protecting Toon Kingdom, which is nice when your opponent doesn't really have a lot of ways of destroying the Toon Kingdom. Like, maybe 1 or 2 protections is enough. Pop Extravagance, getting more cards, Comic Hand. It's basically Snatch Steal without having to give your opponent life points. I think that's how Snatch Steal works. And then Ritual is to summon the Relinquished Fusion. It's for the fusion. Fortunately, this does say from the hand, so you don't actually need to properly summon Relinquish to get out the Thousand Eyes Restrict. Or the Millennium Eyes Restrict. Though, in order to bring out the Thousand Eyes Restrict, you're gonna need to... Oh yeah, this doesn't even fusion summon the other ones, so yeah. But yeah, in order to bring out the Thousand Eyes Restrict, you're gonna have to use the Dark Hex Seal since you're not playing Thousand Eyes Idol. It's not a very good card anyway. Doesn't really mesh, wouldn't really mesh well with the deck. Toon Page Flip, pretty nice card. You just pick, basically, it doesn't really matter if you're just picking, the best 3 tunes anyway, whichever one the opponent picks, like, it's gonna give you advantage. At least that's the idea. So basically the 3 best picks are gonna be Blacklisted Soldier, I think it's Dark Magician, yeah, because that special summons a tune from the deck, which basically can get you the other, like either the 2 that weren't picked anyway, because I believe yeah, you shuffle the rest into the deck, so they'll still be in the deck, or the Red Eyes Toon Dragon. Those are probably the 3 best picks. Red Eyes Toon Dragon, maybe not as good as the other 2, so your opponent may just pick the Red Eyes Toon. Or they may just pick the Blacklisted Soldier because this says this wouldn't give you a second monster, unlike these 2. But if they pick, if the opponent picks a Red Eyes Toon Dragon, maybe they won't have like either, since like my opponent's only playing 1 of each anyway, like I know like that if I pick Red Eyes Toon Dragon, at least if I'm giving them a second monster, at least I know that won't be the Toon Dark Magician or Blacklist Soldier, unless they have a way to search these. So maybe I would pick that so they couldn't go into Blacklist Soldier, because Blacklist Soldier is pretty good since oh, I thought it could declare. Oh, it since it like can banish a call on the field, and maybe I don't want that. So even though this gets them a second, maybe I don't want one of my cards being banished. So I'd rather just give them this. I don't know. I think most of the time, like, I'm not sure, like, Blacklist Soldier might be the best pick, like, if those other 3 they show you. Because at least then they're not getting 2 monsters. I don't know. And then Toon Briefcase, it's a searchable, shuffler, really good form of removal for when the opponent summons a monster. Toon Terror is a searchable negate in this deck, so that's pretty cool. I mean, and the activation conditions are fairly simple. This is also good to, as another way to maybe protect the Toon Kingdom if they want to go directly after that. But your opponent would see the Toon Terror if you just wanted to, if the opponent did just search it, I'd be able to like know that, and so maybe I could like bait out that negate. And then Thousand Eyes Restrict is a way to be able to like out some of my big threats while maybe giving it a big attack boost, big stat boost if it was in face up position, but it's pretty cool that it can also be in face down position, although it wouldn't give it a stat boost at that point. It also gives it a little bit of protection, and it and if it wasn't taken care of after that, my opponent can now just steal another thing, so I gotta be kind of careful. And then this one is kind of better, though it is a little bit, maybe a little bit hard to activate. Though this is also pretty good just as like instant fusion target, since it can like help like deal with hand traps, because if your opponent tries to hand trap you, you can just take that hand trap, assuming it went to the graveyard, which most of the time it probably would. unless it's something like Nibiru or something. Oh wait, no. No. Even if it, well, no, I think Nibiru, their tribute is the cost. So like, I don't think. What would it do with? No, because it would need to be on. So yeah, basically any hand trap that would be sent to a grave. I mean, maybe aside from Gear Gamma, but I think the negate happens first before it's summoned. Or does the negate happen on summon? Like, okay, maybe it would even deal with aside from Gear Gamma. As long as it's not negating this effect. Yeah, but like if they're trying to chain to a different monster, I think it could even stop Cyphering Gear Gamma since I believe the negate is part of the summon. But if not, like it might not stop Cyphering Gear Gamma. But and if it does, that's pretty cool. Still pretty good for stopping most relevant hand traps, because most of them would. This definitely would be able to stop, because I guess like it's because the discard is cost. Yeah, so and then you just snatch it up for wherever it ended up, whether on the field or in the graveyard, as long as like it like put itself on the field in the graveyard as cost, I believe. And then you can just negate before like the effects can actually resolve by like basically just stealing it. And also it gains a little bit of stats, but not like necessarily too big of a deal. Mostly they're just like help protect your plays. Although in versus me, since I'm not really doing that, it's not going to be used for those reasons, though it can still be used to steal one of my monster plays. So it can still be good, like if I can't necessarily get rid of it first, like I might just have to like give up one of my monsters, like try to bait out that negate and then try to deal with it if I can. Also, it like locks the effects of like other monsters with the same name as well. While like it's equipped to it, so that can be kind of cool as well. Especially with maybe a deck like Harpy Lady. Like if this thing like steals like a Harpy Lady, well, since the opponent, a lot of their monsters count as Harpy Lady while on the field, this can basically like lock out that deck, which is pretty nifty. Anyway, these other fusions don't really matter. They're just fodder. And yeah, I don't see anything here that can bring them out, so they must just be fodder for the Pot of Extravagance. If you want to see them, here they are, and I'll still cycle. So, if you like the artwork, maybe, there you go. I think this is more of like an representation of like an old school deck. So they're only playing fusions, and they're playing like a few fodder fusions. It's not exactly an old school deck, because like Toon Kingdom isn't exactly old school. Like they're running newer Toon cards. Also, Pot of Extravagance isn't exactly old school, but it's kind of old school with the Relinquished thing, and like maybe the X deck. Although like that one Thousand Eyes monster I know is a little bit newer, but like the Fusionist and maybe the Bickery box kind of reminds me of like old school fusion decks. Like maybe you would like see these like ran just because they wanted a full X deck to like for the decks that didn't really care too much about the X deck, but maybe like still wanted to make their opponent believe that they were playing an X deck matters deck. Okay. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you all who stayed for the deck overview and a little bit of that and that small news section I did. Once again, please like, share, and subscribe, and consider ringing that notification bell for however whatever type of content you want to select it for. And I'll be leaving the gratitude notes in the description along with the verse. And I'll leave the verse discussion for easy access to leaving your thoughts. I'll leave that down in the pinned comment. And if not today, it'll be in the next few days. And that'll do it for the video. I need to re-upload my outro clip apparently, so I just put it here. But I probably would have done it anyway since I think today's video might have ran a bit long, but maybe it'll still be under 20 minutes. Anyway, bye.